we expect bodies to change. We expect
Our
to look like
faces.
different
Yeah,
people. Our blood is going to change. Our
Yeah.
biochemistry is going to change. Our mental health is going to change. Our physical health is going to change.
And then people are
Our identity is going to change.
people are gonna look at us like, have you done any work?
Welcome to Permission the Podcast. I'm Dr. T, and this is my sister,
Silvana, and we are two regular people talking about spirituality in our daily lives.
Each week, we're inviting you to the internal conversation. So let's get started.
With your permission.
Okay,
Hi.
we're back with your permission.
That's right. And today we are here in Washington, D.C., and we are at the Dr. Joe Dispenza
Retreat. Yeah.
retreat.
We have to show our shirts. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like we should start with leading up to this event. You know, I was telling some people, yeah, I'm going to a meditation retreat. And they said, where? And I said, Washington, D.C.
Why? So originally we had planned to go to the one in Cancun, and it sold out. So
I was a little upset about that for 5 minutes. Were you?
especially because she wanted to pull the trigger, and I was thinking about it, and she's
You
like, come on, we gotta
hesitated.
go. And then by the time I said, okay, let's do it. It's not like it took that long, maybe a week or two, because she's
Pretty persistent.
Yeah.
Well, you made me into a liar. I told one of my friends at CrossFit, I was like, yeah, I'm going to this Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation retreat in Cancun. And she looked it up and she was like, oh, this one that's sold out? And I was like, oh,
Dang.
yeah.
Okay, so fast forward, we signed up for this one. And
Which I feel like it turned out to be a better idea.
absolutely, because we are basically in from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And by the time we're out, which we left not long ago, this is our second, actually it's the third day, but second day doing meditations. And
It's
wow,
Monday. It's Monday.
it's Monday.
Yeah, it's Monday.
It's Monday. And
It's
been
a lot.
amazing. It's been a lot. And we've been doing a lot. We come out of there and we're like ready to go to bed because we used up a lot of energy in this meditation. But
Well, before we get into all of that, I feel like one of the things that I really liked about doing this meditation retreat was that it ends on 8/8 Lionsgate portal.
that's right. That's right. So I assume it's going to be a pretty intense meditation.
I'm excited for it, actually. It's the last one. It's supposed to be like a laying down one. The only laying down one there is.
Most of the meditations are sitting down, but then they're like about an hour long. And by the time you're almost done, they make us lay down so our bodies can, take it all in.
Yeah. Also, didn't we recently get feedback about something?
About,
The podcast.
I'm trying to think. What feedback are you thinking about?
Oh, that one of my friends wants us to argue.
Oh, yes. That's right. She's like, how come you guys agree on everything?
Why you don't disagree?
And why, and your sisters, right? So why you like agree on everything? And we thought about it, and then Derek, you were like, we need to disagree on something. And I'm like,
I
we
didn't
can't-
say that. I
Yes,
did not.
we can't make up a disagreement.
We can't make this shit up.
And
No,
so
I disagreed with her. I was like, whatever.
and then
No one has to disagree.
And then we went out to lunch. This is when we came to Washington, D.C. We arrived early and we went to lunch, and I'm sitting and I'm trying to digest that we don't disagree. And I'm like, wow, we don't disagree. And then I was thinking, what could we disagree on? So then I kept thinking and thinking, and 15 minutes went by and I still couldn't think of anything to
Well,
agree on.
I think part of it is how we engage with conversation where it isn't a conflict. Even if I was telling you this over, what was that? Lunch, dinner,
Dinner, I don't know.
By the way, that's a Seinfeld term. Anyway, moving on. I was saying how because we have conversations that in the way in which we have them, we wouldn't disagree anyway.
Right.
Because it wouldn't be a conflict to begin with.
But then I was thinking how, we have an age difference. And when we were younger or when we weren't in the same, we sort of ended up meeting in the same path, right?
Well, yeah, we've been 20.
Yeah. And so before that, I mean, we for me being with Tere, she was my young sister. I had to take care of her. So to me, she was
You were annoyed.
homework, right? She was like work. And so we didn't connect because of age difference, because how I had to take care of her. And she was pretty annoying. Not anymore. So,
Well,
and then
and
at one
wait,
point,
I made it.
at one point, the age difference didn't matter, right? She was in college, blah, 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 and then we started hanging out, doing things together. Now, we weren't besties or anything like that, but we were connecting, right? In a certain way. But since, when would you say? Since after your divorce?
After my divorce, we became friends.
You sort of joined you joined me for a walk, right? So I was walking here and she just started doing her spiritual.
Well, still stuff on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now we are.
Well, no, I'm going to add that I went out with my other sisters, not you. You were working. I don't know what you were doing. When we went to New Haven. So I went to New Haven with Paola and Mari.
Yeah.
And some of the kids. So I was talking to my niece who has this age gap with my other niece and their sisters, and she takes care of her.
Boy.
And she calls her cutie and she takes care of her, and it's the sweetest thing. And I turned to my sister, Paola, and I say, hey, you never took care of me like this. Look at all this love and affection and attention.
I disagree. I think we did give you a lot of love and affection when you were like little, but then you were annoying. So all of that.
Anyway, it's really beautiful how she takes care of hers to say all that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So jumping to the meditation retreat and the expectations we had and when we arrived and how.
I will say you had the expectation of becoming supernatural.
That's for sure. So I read the book, Becoming Supernatural. I actually finished it, I don't know, was it last Tuesday? Yeah, I finished it last Tuesday. Man, as I was reading, especially towards the end, there's a lot of people that he puts examples of how these people overcame who they were and they became supernatural, meaning healing themselves from diseases, from all kinds of things. And they all start similar, right? Like they all have their moment. They're in the meditation and they connect to their heart expands, bursts, explodes. They're like, they're having like this moment where their brain is on fire, or this movement in the brain, and the eyes are in rapid eye movement, and all kinds of things happening. And they start seeing things. So as I'm reading the book, this woman is talking about a light she saw. Well, she came off her body. She, the other stuff I mentioned, and she saw lights like really vibrant red light and blue light. And so I'm reading and I'm like, I want to see that. I want to see that. And I'm reading my book outside in the grass. I was waiting for my son to finish his practice in Stanford. And the sun was setting. And I'm like, oh, I want to see that. And then all of a sudden I started seeing all this red stuff around the sun and all this bright blue in between the clouds, but in a super vibrant way. And everything else was dull. And then I'm like, whoa, I'm not even I'm not even doing the meditation. So I have a friend that I told the other day, I was telling them a story about things that happened to me. She goes like, what I like about you is that when you ask for something, you get it right away. You get messages from your voice, you dream about it, it happens right away. And then I'm thinking, you know what? She's right. I'm going to go and I'm going to become supernatural.
Yeah. I had no idea what to expect. I mean, right before we came, I recognized that I had access to like the pre workshop before this workshop, this like week long progressive workshop. And I had no idea. Saw it like, I don't know, 3 days
Prior, yeah.
prior.
And by the way, I had asked her, hey, do we need to do anything before? Because I wasn't checking and blah, blah. And then I trust her because she's intense with her stuff, and she's the one that. So I'm like, no, there's nothing. I haven't seen anything. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then 3 days prior to the event, she goes like, oh, we were supposed to do this course. It's like a bazillion
It's
hours.
like 20 hours.
And I'm like, what? So I finished the book and then I just started like after work, I was like on it.
Full submersion.
So I ended up doing 12 hours, just about 12 hours and the meditations and stuff. And I was like, whoa, this is going to be something.
It was something.
Because prior to that, we were grabbing the free meditations from Spotify or YouTube. They're small. They're not.
Yeah, they're nothing like his actual stuff.
So recommendation is to, I don't know, go see him if you can. And if you can, because, it is a little pricey or whatnot, buy his course. He's 12-hour course that he has because the meditation's in there and the lessons. I think you need to both the lectures and the meditations together to really understand what you're trying to do.
The lectures are game changer. I feel like all of the information he gives makes a lot more sense. I liked the lectures more than I did the book, though.
I have to agree with that because I think it was easier to grasp the whole thing. But I think for me, doing both was great. Now, if I have to pick one or the other, the lectures, oof, yeah.
Yeah, the lectures are better. He is rather repetitive, but that is for the purposes of learning and
ingraining it in your.
Yeah, so you really actually get to know the material. Plus, when you get exposed to the material over and over again, you understand it in a different way. Especially one of the things that I really enjoy about this retreat is that every so often, and it's pretty often, that he stops and tells us to talk to the person next to us and explain what he just said, which is
relearning it.
Brilliant for learning because you're teaching someone else. It's like applied learning right away.
Yeah, and I think that has been very helpful to also apply it in the meditations. You're telling them how they're doing it. There's this specific breath, deep breath that, man, it's complicated. And you basically have to do 3 things at once. You have to, I don't know, Tere, you want to explain the breath?
It starts at your sit bone and starts in the perineum. And what you're doing is you're letting out breath and you're holding yourself without breath. And then you're squeezing your spine from the bottom up in specific, essentially chakra points. And what you're squeezing as you're taking a breath in, as you're inhaling, essentially you're working up fluid towards your brain. And the target is the pineal gland.
So you're like squeezing, pulling up, tense, being straight, and then lowering your shoulders, tensing up your core, keep it tense, and then just keep breathing up, and then you maintain your neck straight until you reach the pineal gland.
And then you're supposed to arch your back.
Then you hold your breath once you reach the target. And then you squeeze again, and then you hold it.
Hold it. And then he says exhale.
And then he goes, okay, arch your back, hold it, and then, okay, exhale. And by the time that happens, because you're thinking, I have to squeeze my perineum, I have to do this, belly button in, my breath.
Squeezing your whole.
It's super intense and like I'm sweating.
Yeah.
And
It's really hot.
but then you feel it in your brain, like you start feeling it in the back of your brain, you start feeling movement, and
The release of fluids in your brain. It's
just
pretty funky.
you feel it, and anyway, you do
And it
like
actually
3.
feels good.
Yeah, and you can do like what, 3 or 4 of those, and then you're going into the meditation. And whoa.
Well, each meditation is different.
Yeah, that's true. And so Saturday was the, the welcome day, your registration, you got your t-shirt, then and then he did a lecture, but there was no meditation. Sunday we started the meditations, and whoa, right? And then it took me, I was in my head, like I was letting my body, my environment affect me, 'cause a ton of people, it's like what, almost 2,000 people.
Yeah.
And normally when I meditate, it's like just me, quiet. So in order I had to get past the environment, my mind, my emotions. And the first day was, simple, not an easy day. But guess what? We didn't quit. We kept going. And that's a win, right? And then today, which is Monday, second day with meditations. And today I was able to do it, and I got my moment. And I cried like a baby. And yesterday when people were having their moments, and some people, because there's so much pleasure when you get to your moment in your brain. They call it what, the lovegasm or the braingasm. I don't know. But there's just so much pleasure from tapping into source and just releasing. And just feeling and just receiving, because you like what you feel is like, I don't know. Have you ever been in love? Like it's just multiplied times 1,000. And it's just like your heart bursts, they like expands, and and you don't know what to do with it because it's just so much and you feel so much. And then my eyes were doing rapid movement. And then my brain felt like sort of like what you would think a seizure, because there was like movement in there. And boy, that feel good. And so, and then you cry and you like let out. And some people cry and let out noises like they're having an orgasm almost, but
Well,
it's
it's
just,
also the movement of energy. You're moving all the stagnant energy.
and it's, I don't know, have words, but it was unbelievable. And then I'm like, you're not going to believe what happened to me, which is what Dr. Joe says when he's telling
his stories of people that
have gone
come
through
up
it,
to him. Yeah.
So it happened to me. It could happen to anyone.
Well, today was pretty interesting because my first meditation was rubbish. It was pretty bad for me. And I didn't get it. I couldn't drop into it. I was all upset about it. I was annoyed. I was frustrated. I was moving. I was squirmy. I couldn't get past my body. It was a hot mess. And the first meditation of the day, he took time to have us focus on the centers in the body, which are the chakra systems, right? And by the time he got to 4, there's 8. By the time he got to 4, I was like,
the heart.
I was like, come on,
It was a long meditation.
let's get this goddamn show on the road.
She was a whiner. So for me, because yesterday was the first day, and yeah, I didn't have the greatest meditations, or like I had one that was good. Like I was improving with each one. I could see it and I could feel it. I was getting better with each meditation. And this morning, before we went, I made a decision. I gave myself permission not to judge me and just to do the best that I can and not give up, right? So I went in, and if something was entering my head, I was clear, and I was just like, okay, moving it along, instead of judging myself, like, you should be doing better. How long have you been meditating? All of that noise, all of that nonsense, I turned it off, like the silly mind. I'm like, nah, you're not going to ruin my meditation. So I went conscious that I wasn't going to do that. And I think that helped a lot for me to be able to have my moment, because in order to have your moment, you have to surrender who you are, really just be nothing. So you focus on empty space and the nothing, and you become that nothing, and you become part of that, which is the what do you call it?
The waves?
Yeah, the
The
way
matter?
the no, not the matter. Matter is what we can perceive, but it is the
The no time, the no,
yeah,
no
being,
body, no space, no.
being no body, no time, no space, and just becoming nothing. And you become nothing, so then you can be part of everything. But before you be part of everything, part of the oneness, right? You have to surrender who you are as a person, the emotional connections you have to people, to the environment, to everything. And so, in order to have my moment, I had to stop being me and just being pure frequency and energy and becoming one with that nothingness. And so, I did it.
Yeah, it was pretty far out. And you were shaking and crying
And everything exploded. My heart exploded, my brain exploded. Like the Care Bears, but worse, you know?
you described it as like an epilepsy.
You know, like I can only imagine that that's what it feels like, but you have you're conscious, you're
like a seizure.
like a seizure, because you feel movement inside your brain. Like there's just a lot happening. And the rapid eye movement and just all the emotions and energy moving through you. So I had to cry like a baby to just let it out.
Okay, so my second meditation was better, but not great. In my second meditation for today, I was able to drop down a bit faster. It wasn't the chakra center, so that was great. He took us into the void pretty quickly, and that was great. I just appreciated the meditation method better than blessing the chakra centers. And I was able to get into the space of nothing. I don't know if I was able to move past to the no thing. Like I still had my identity. It was like Dr. T in the void, which is not what I wanted. So that's what made it not great. But my third meditation was epic. So this one was about creating, and I was able to get to the no space, no time, nowhere, no thing, and be a part of oneness. And then the exercise was, if there was one thing to create, what do you want to create? And I was going between, I kind of want to focus on my business. I kind of want to focus on finances. I kind of want to focus on love. So I was a bit all over the place. So
It was a tough choice just to pick one thing.
yeah. And you have to pick one thing. You can't just go in there and pick all the things, except I kind of did, right? So I decided, finances will feed my business. And I feel like that's a relationship I need to work on a little bit to repair. So I was working on that. So I went to the space of nothing, and it was darkness, and I became darkness. And right at the moment where he kind of guided us to create something out of the pure consciousness, in the black space, I saw particles of gold that were forming from nothing. And they were coming together and forming my material body, almost like I was made of gold.
Sure you are.
And it was kind of interesting because then it was coming together to form my body, and then it was coming apart to go back into particle forms and into nothing. So it was it was collecting and retracting.
Yeah.
And that was pretty interesting. How I made sense of it was, I'm the alchemist, and the things that I create will be gold. So that's what I got. And then I also got a bunch of images of how I would create from myself, continue writing, continue working on my business and all this other stuff.
Don't forget the limo.
Yeah, I got picked up by a black car service, and I was on the phone and I was talking about some meetings for my business, a presentation and stuff. So
Sweet. And since we're in business together, so I'm like, Tere, you go with the abundance. You go with the millions and trillions because that will make me millions, billions, and trillions. I'm focusing on
She's riding on my abundance train.
well, I'm already abundant. I'm focusing, hey, look at this is the card I got. When I got there, first thing I got
Abundance. And on the back it says I am abundance.
So that was me. And I am abundant. So I'm focusing on health. Just, I used to be a runner and I'm starting to have a little issues. One knee, one hip, I have a shoulder that hurt some years ago. And they're not like terrible, but like I do have to do adjustments when I do certain things and when I do my hot yoga. And so I'm like, nah, I just want to be able to move freely. So I'm focusing on just being a machine.
Yeah, and what I really appreciate is Dr. Joe Dispenza actually goes over the research that they're actively doing and all
It's
of the
amazing
data that they're collecting. It's so far out.
Yeah. And just changing the world too, just like imagine a doctor going to your doctor and they go like, try meditation, check out Dr. Joe Dispenza. Or, like just not medicating everybody and numbing everybody, So it's the work they're doing is amazing. And gosh, I'm so happy you've basically pushed me to hurry up and sign up for it.
I didn't.
He's like, oh yeah, let's do it. And it's like,
Well,
today.
you will talk.
Today. We're doing it today.
Just to touch a little bit on the research because I was blown away. Today was a presentation about a person running the research studies, and he was talking about the things that changed in the people that attended the meditation retreats.
And it's not like a low percentage of people show this, and this. It's like super high percentages. Sometimes 100% of people get out of there with like an improved body. Like their blood is different.
Their biology is different. Their brain is different.
And
the research that they have going on is also related to pain. So people that showed up with pain, they measured their levels of certain biochemicals that happen in the brain, and there was more serotonin, there was more dopamine, there was more oxytocin, meaning that the body was creating morphine and right, things that essentially reduced pain and also increased, all the good feels.
Yeah. That was impressive. I was also impressed with how they tested breast milk for women that were breastfeeding and how the breast milk completely changed,
Like it was a totally different breast milk.
Meaning that it had more, I don't know, more healing properties, more, I don't know.
Anti-cancer. So
bunch of things, and it was pretty impressive. And I think they did the study on like, say you have a wound, like a cut, and they would put breast milk on it. So they did the study on breast milk of somebody that was in the retreat, and it helped it, but barely any. And then somebody that was in the retreat.
Yeah, post-retreat,
and that thing was like, whoa,
healing fast.
And so
they also compared first-time people versus experienced people that have been doing the meditations and stuff. They found that it was a pretty significant, the 7 days created a pretty significant impact on novice meditators, and that was really far out. So we're first timers, so we are getting all the benefits. Yeah, we expect bodies to change. We expect to look like different people. Our blood is going to change. Our biochemistry is going to change. Our mental health is going to change. Our physical health is going to change. And then people are our identity is going to change. People are going to look at us like, have you done any work? It's like, oh, there's something different about you. Is that Botox? Oh, yeah. And people look younger, or their biological age decreases or something. Like by a year or so.
a year and a half or whatever.
Out of 7 days, yeah.
So, besides from all the good stuff, the meditation, you can get all of this juiciness from participating in a meditation retreat. And that's money.
Well, so far, this is what we have for you, right? We are going to try to record more of these, but I will say that it's pretty exhausting. Yesterday, I think yesterday we had the intention of recording, right?
We did. But we got here what time? 9 o'clock after the first day ran till like past 8 o'clock. Well,
Yeah.
8 o'clock, 8, whatever. And so
we got here at like
9, 9 o'clock.
9 something.
And so all we wanted to do was just go to bed. We were
I was ready to pass out. I was like sleepwalking.
Yeah, we were like, it takes a lot of energy to work on, to meditate and do all of these things. Although you're like sitting down and you're like, oh, you're just sitting down or laying down or whatever. But it takes energy, and you're moving energy, and it's work.
Yeah, I had someone say, that sounds wonderful and relaxing and super chill. And I'm like,
yeah, I mean, it is, but it's still, it takes energy to do. And
it's work.
By the time it's 9 o'clock, we're like zombies, and it's already 10 o'clock, and look at us.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of work, especially with his retreats, because you're learning, you're teaching, you're practicing, you're doing all the things all at once. And I don't know. I feel like I don't know if I've ever been to a meditation retreat that was just like super chill and fun.
Well, this is my first meditation retreat ever, so I don't know. I don't have anything to compare it to.
I guess it's like the reason why our society avoids themselves 24/7. It's kind of like doing the opposite. There's no Netflix. There's no scrolling. There's no, I don't know what else people do.
Yeah, none of that. And you don't want it. Like, I don't want to be connected to my phone. For the most time, we're having our phones off and just disconnecting from all of that stuff.
I mean, I wish we didn't even need our phones, but
there's an app that we have.
We need to have the app, and we need to.
So we're just making fun of Joe, because Dr. Joe, when he talks about people complaining and stuff, he goes like, I have a gluten-free diet.
He says all this stuff.
He's pretty sarcastic. His sense of humor is amazing.
His sense of humor is on point.
And, I like it. I dig it.
He seems like he has a fucking blast in his life. He's just like,
hey, he doesn't care about anything.
Yeah, he's just living his best life.
Absolutely.
And it's contagious.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Oh my God, are we twinning? The other thing that he's... You say it.
You say it.
Go.
No.
Go.
You.
You got this. You got this. He talks about if certain diseases or certain things are contagious, right? Like you have a cold, you can get a cold or COVID-19, whatever. Stuff is contagious. So is healing. So he talks about how when you were in a group of, we're almost 2,000 people. And there's a lot of healing happening. Yeah. And it's just kind of contagious.
It is contagious.
And I felt like, for me today, I heard a woman having her moment. I was dozing off during the meditation. I was in the nothingness part. But when I heard that woman going through her moment, the voice in my voice said, wake up. You need to help other people heal. Like, it's not time to fall asleep. And so I woke up, I perked up, and I'm like, okay, I'm in the nothing. Now I need to become nothing, right? And the way I did it, which is kind of funny, if you like Marvel movies, I pictured myself, I saw myself, and I blimped out. And then I became part of the nothing. And I felt the nothing, and I fell in love with the nothing, and I just became it, And then it started happening. I started with the eyes. Actually, no, the levitating off of my feet and off of my body. Like I felt like I levitated off of it. And then the eyes, and then the everything else, the explosions. Yeah, euphoria.
And each session starts with a dance party.
And here comes Joe with his two-step move.
His two-step. It's great.
He's
It's just
amazing.
great.
He's an amazing human being.
I love the information. I think that's what I appreciate more that we're here. I mean, the books are just too much. I feel like the books are too much for me, but the lectures
are
I get
amazing. Amazing. Especially when he goes into the drawing board, you know, he explains everything.
Yeah, the pictures he puts up there it's awesome. Okay.
All right.
And that is all we have for you this week.
Make sure you follow Permission the Podcast.
And we'll be back next week
With
with your
your
permission.